I actually had loads of rucksacks at home. Ex-military ones, fake military ones, massive, great big bags, 80, 90 litre ones. And when I first went out, I used one which was heavy duty. I think it probably was ex-military, maybe a Dutch bag or Scandinavian bag, something like that. But it really heavy, and I think it was probably about 90 litre capacity, and I filled it to the brim, and I could barely lift it. It was probably 26 kilos, I guess, all in, something ridiculous like that. And the problem that you'll find with the gear as you buy it for wild camping, the cheaper gear is heavier. It's cheaper for a reason. The quality is not quite as good, and they make up for the quality of the materials by having heavier, harder wearing materials. So anyway, I took this 90 litre 26 plus kilo bag with me, and I nearly died. I barely went maybe half a mile total. A lot of it through forest though, and the ground was very soft and it was very difficult. I just took too much with me, and that's something else you'll learn. The first few times, in fact the first, I'm going to say year, you will take too much stuff. I take too much stuff today. My pack is now 19 kilos, and that's still ridiculously heavy. I don't know where the weight's coming from. I mean, that's with food and water and everything else in. I don't know where that extra weight's coming from, and I can't seem to shift it yet. But you start with a bag that will work for you. So if you've got an old bag, an old rucksack, use it. That's all right. If not, you can get a Nepal 65 bag. Can't remember who makes it now. Online for about 15-20 quid. Perfectly good bag. The numbers refer to the litre capacity, which is arbitrary, let's say, in the cheaper bags. 60 litre capacity is more than enough usually, 60, 65. Certainly once you get your gear nailed down, you'll start shrinking bag size. So I started off with this huge, great monster of a bag. And then I have moved to an Osprey bag. So I've got the AG65, which is expensive. Do I need it? No. Nope. I now realise that I don't need that. I never really carry anything very far. The furthest I've carried anything was maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile. Did it help? Yeah, absolutely. Is it worth that for a mile? No. I think there are, and I should say that the Osprey bag is a great bag, but before you put anything in it, it's 2.5 kilos, 2.4, something like that. Again, I'll put it on the screen. And that's a lot of weight for no bits. It's just the bag. Again, don't get me wrong, great bag, but quite heavy and expensive. So don't do that. Get yourself a cheap Nepal 65. Most of the stuff you'll get that you want to start carrying while camping with will go in it. If not, hang it on the outside, stick it in another bag, carry a bag, doesn't matter. Chances are your first wild camp won't be very far away from either from home or from the car or whatever. Nothing wrong with that at all. Most of my camps are near the car. And then see what you need from there. If you find you like the hiking and the walking and then going up and down the mountains and all that sort of malarkey, then you're going to need a comfortable bag that can take the weight that you're going to take. And if you're not doing that, then you don't. What you need is something strong enough to carry what you want to take within the price bracket that you're interested in paying. And that's it. Simple as that. And again, the chances of you changing your bag as you go through your wild camping journey, almost guaranteed. I have started looking at other bags now because I wanted to reduce that empty pack weight and probably slightly increase the capacity, or at least how it's held, have a slightly bigger internal space with easier access to it. Maybe a few more pockets and things on the outside. I don't know. We'll see. I'm in no rush for that. Anyway, let's assume you've got a bag. Let's assume everything you've bought so far can go in your bag. And it's the right size for you, which is important. More important as you do expensive bags, less important with the cheap ones. But you'll figure that out. Put everything in. Put your sleep system at the bottom. Put your tent at the top. Or on the outside, if it's going on the outside, that's fine too. So the things that you need access to quickly go at the top of the pack, or in the what's called the brain, the top pouch of the pack. That's where your first aid kit should be. Even if it's just a very small first aid kit, that's all you really need. But it needs to be accessible and obvious to anyone. And then practice packing your bag over and over and over, realising that the first time you do it in anger, it won't all go back in. Not in the way that you thought it would. As soon as your tent gets wet, that's another problem to deal with. Lots of things. And remember, you need space for your food, your water, your warm clothes or your jacket, whatever, your waterproofs, your cook set, and all the other bits that we haven't gone through yet. So eventually you'll realise that attempting to cook in aluminium pots or steel pots is an absolute nightmare, and you'll want to go to something else. You'll probably start looking at the titanium stuff, which I've explained before is brilliant, really, really good. It's cheap enough as well now. It used to be very expensive, but you can find cheap enough stuff. Boundless Voyage on Temu, I think it is. Plenty of titanium gear there. Toke's pots are fantastic. And you only really need a couple of things. You don't necessarily need plates and bowls and all the different sizes. Something big enough to boil plenty of water so you can reheat your meal. A cup if you want a cup. If you're not, just take a normal cup or a folding cup. It's entirely up to you. You don't have to have titanium knife, fork and spoons and sporks and long-handled things. Again, entirely up to you. Certainly not out right off the bat. You don't need to have a lot of this off the bat. But later you'll go there maybe. So now you can feed yourself. You can heat something up. You can sit in the warm in your shelter of some form. You can get a good night's sleep. What else is there? Well, that's where it gets interesting. So the what else is there is a bit like how long's a piece of string. There are a trillion different things that you might want to change, buy, invest in. Some of those will be the big things, like the tents. You know, chances are your cheap tent will do you for the first couple, and then you're going to want to go and change it. And you'll probably do that 2 or 3 times, and you'll spend a little bit more each time. So yeah, you might eventually want to buy yourself an expensive tent, which is what happened with me. But I did a lot of research first. Things like camp chairs. Do you need a chair? No. Is it nice to have a chair? Yes. You can start off with a small one, 20-30 quid's worth. If you're of a larger size, such as me, you do need to check the weight limits on chairs. I have broken one stall, it just disintegrated because I didn't check. I've got the little Trackology chair, I don't know how much that was, can't remember. And that's fine, it's not very comfortable, but it works, and it's a great lightweight chair. So any walking involved, I'd take that one. I've got the Dragon Hide, the One Tigress chair, and that's for the high back. So if you're spending any time just sitting around enjoying the view, because that's what we do this for, right? Then being comfortable is important. And then I've got this leany thing that I'm on, which I didn't really need, but I cannot put either of my other chairs inside the tent. I can put this inside the tent. It's virtually no weight, it takes up virtually no room, and it does a job. Otherwise you're just laying down in a tent all of the time, which is okay, that's fine. These things just help. But they're not necessary. And I've got tables. So I've got a big camp table, the One Tigress one, which you've seen in other videos. That's great. Brilliant table. It's not particularly heavy, it's not particularly bulky. It's a pain in the what's it to try and put together sometimes, which I've gone through on one of my reviews. But I've also got this small table that you've seen down here that I've been cooking on. And that's just for use inside, really. It's just something that provides a nice stable flat surface, especially when you use an alcohol burner, that you can just cook on. It's great. Very lightweight, packs away really small, no problem at all. Do you need it? No.